It's time to take a ride on the Steelers Afternoon Drive with our co hosts, Alan Saunders and Zachary Smith.
Get in the van. It's time to take another Steelers Afternoon Drive. I'm Alan Saunders. That is not Zachary Smith. That is Brennan Howe. For the first time, I believe, in Steelers Afternoon Drive history, I'm on an afternoon drive. He's on an afternoon drive. Brennan covered practice today. I told him to take the day off. This young fool refused. So two of us at Steelers practice on Thanksgiving. Smitty is taking the day off with his family. Brennan, what's up? How was your first NFL Thanksgiving practice?
You see, I am someone, I say this over and over, like everybody I can. Football is the thing like I'm most interested in, obviously. So I don't know. I was saying this to Bailey, my girlfriend, very recently. Actually, I was like, the best part about Thanksgiving is the football. So to be at an NFL facility, talking to an NFL coordinator, some of the players, that's about as good as you can get on Thanksgiving.
There you go. I do think Thanksgiving is the greatest holiday because it is the only holiday that football is a core part of. It is food family football. That is what Thanksgiving is all about. And so, did you get into? I know you were talking about a turkey bowl. Did the practice schedule interfere with your turkey bowl aspirations?
No, we have that Saturday actually. We're gonna play that like
Okay, that's
9:30
Saturday.
a.m. Gotta get done for Ohio State, Michigan, which I'll talk a little bit about here because some of the players on the team got a little heated, saying a lot, not heated, but
Yeah,
they,
you
they were
yo.
they were
Let's go
bickering
right
back and
there.
forth about it.
You started an argument in the Steelers locker room today, so
I
let's
didn't. I
go
didn't
there.
mean to. That was the thing. I went up to Jabril just like I did Roman and Will last week, and I was like, "Where are you watching?" And Jabril didn't even look at me. He said, "I don't know." And he looks over at Jack and he says, "Hey, how many losses did Michigan have when we beat you last year?" And I was like, "Here we go." Like I didn't mean to do this. So, but yeah, we're gonna have the Turkey Bowl early in the morning, and then watch Ohio State Michigan after, which another great football day, depending on how both of those results go for me.
There you go. All right, let's talk about those Pittsburgh Steelers. Coordinators talked today, as usual, before practice on a Thursday. I talked to TA. You talked to Arthur Smith. You wrote about what Arthur Smith had to say. Where? Let's start with your angle. What did you talk to Art about, and how did that conversation go?
So the thing we've seen, what he said was pretty obvious in what we've seen in the way that they've used their scheme this year in terms of. Uh, I wrote on Twitter the other night, or I wrote a post that DK Metcalf and Kenneth Gainwell have the same amount of receptions at this point in the season. 42 receptions. Arthur seems to really like getting the ball to the backs, as he termed it, underneath the coverage. He likes trying to see what they can do, running after the catch, which usually they do a good job at that. But the reason you bring DK Metcalf in, or one of the biggest reasons, is he can go deep. He's a big guy. You want to get the ball to him deep and make big plays. And we haven't really seen that this year. We saw the slant that went for 80 yards in Ireland. But there's not really many instances that I can think. Maybe one against the Patriots when we were there, where they air it out to him and he makes a big play. And he said yesterday, when you were talking to him, that he wants them to try that more than once a game. He wants there to be some repetition, and with repetition will come success. And that's something that I feel like the offense has been missing this year. It's something. Anytime a deep ball is thrown, you get excited, obviously. And I mean, Arthur Smith adds that Darnell Washington's kind of broke out, and he's someone I would argue when Darnell Washington gets the ball short, it's almost as entertaining as watching a deep ball, right? Like you never know what's going to happen. But that's something they would probably want to see more of. And I know bracket coverage, that sort of thing goes into it. But yeah, want to get the ball to DK Metcalf deep, and Arthur Smith kind of explained why they haven't to this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the big reason is their just inability to get single coverage against them. I mean, you get. I feel like one of the reasons you look at that interception against the Bears that they throw that is that second and a half a yard in your own side of the 50 is one of the few times you feel good about getting that one-on-one matchup. They did get it, and then Mason underthrows it and it gets intercepted. But like, I feel like defenses really haven't been letting them take more of those shots.
Yeah. Yeah, and Johnny Smith is another one of those guys in that group where someone asked him like, what our defense is doing to kind of make sure Johnny Smith really can't make noise. And got a little bit of a math lesson. I don't think you really have to check it out, but Arthur said if you throw the ball, I think 27 or 28 times a game, you complete 17. Not everybody can have 10 receptions. Like that checks out. Obviously, the math. It's not hard to double check that one there, but. Uh, Johnny Smith is another guy. Like I was telling Job last night when we were talking on the other podcast of like he's someone in training camp that I really bought in. This like tight ends, like maybe they could use this tight end trio and kind of morph them into that receiver too. And like I said to Job, like in some instances we've seen some success there, but Johnny Smith has not been the player or like the production that they've seen from him is not what they wanted when they got him.
Yeah, it's not what we saw last year in Miami at all. Like it just looks like a totally different player out there. He's got a bunch of drops too. DK's had some drops as well. Like that's the other part of it is I don't think the lack of deep ball production would be so glaring if they were capitalizing on a higher percentage of them. But it's been pretty rough. I mean, I think they have more. I think they have more interceptions than completions on like 25 plus air yards over the last 5 weeks. Like that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was trying to look up some of those like next gen stats, and that's something I haven't really ever like played with. But I decided like maybe in this case, looking at that story that I wrote earlier, like it'd be interesting. And right now, and I mean, I'm not sure how much you buy into next gen stats, and like I honestly don't have too much of an opinion
Yeah, I think they're
on them.
generally pretty good stuff.
Like Aaron Rodgers has the fewest completed average air yards in the league. Obviously, a lot of short passes, and DK Metcalf has the fewest targeted air yards averaged in his career so far. I looked at the numbers. It's been around 13, 12, 11, and right now he's just under 10. He's at 9.8. So um, obviously that's very obvious with like we've said how they've used him, but uh, I don't know that might also factor in with Aaron Rodgers being 41, almost 42, not wanting to like shoot his arm and like destroy it. And I mean he's already dealing with a left broken wrist right now. So
Yeah, yeah. Let's go there next. Rogers at practice today. Did see him, doing a lot of the same stuff he did last week. I don't really have any idea how to characterize what is going to happen here. The report it was Ian Rappaport of NFL Network earlier today that the Steelers are expecting Aaron Rodgers. Mike Tomlin's very definitive in the post he was going to play this week. And then no Rodgers at practice on Wednesday. So I don't know. I still feel like we're fairly up in the air. I will say I feel a little bit better today than I did yesterday about the idea of him playing. Obviously, we don't have the full injury report out yet. Practice is still going on as we're recording this. But yeah, I feel like maybe trending in the right direction today, but we'll see. Still up in the air. But I feel like against the Bears, man, Mason Rudolph is the deep ball guy, and that was one of the big things that didn't work for them well in that game. Is he didn't really come close to connecting on any of them. All right, let's talk about the defense now. I talked to Terrell Austin. Some good insight about the way things went in that game. You kind of got to read between the lines for some of it, but it was asked about what has become this talking point, I guess, the DJ Moore touchdown where they're in four verts against cover three. And he said, you got to look at it as a play caller. Should we have been in that? Is there a better defense I could have called? He said, and then we got to look at the details. Are we playing it right? And, maybe the answer to both of those is no. Obviously, anytime you're in trips against cover three, you're in danger of that happening. But also they did not play it very well down the field at all. And really, I mean, it was non-competitive coverage from between Pierre and Ramsey and Eccles to all recognize what was going on. And then you've got, like, I just feel like in general, the Steelers have had a lot of those plays where they're in the wrong defense at the wrong time and the right play call can beat them. And I asked TA about that, and he kind of said, like, yeah, you just got to look at, like, myself as a play caller. You got to look at how we're calling the details of the defense, how we're executing the details of the defense. And they said sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the other team. Like, they made a good play. I actually think that part of that play also was that Jack Sawyer goes off sides. And so, like, I don't know that Caleb Williams is thinking deep ball right from the beginning, but like that changes things there too. I think there's a lot that this defense could be doing better, and I don't know. We'll see if they're able to do it against the Bills. The one thing I do think is interesting is they've been pretty good at adjustments in between games, and I think schematically, like the challenge that the Bills present is fairly similar to the Bears. Like a lot of time you lose a game and you're like, well, you want to learn a lesson from this loss, but that lesson might not be applicable at all to next week's opponent. Like you may go in there and be like, oh, here's what we got to do the next time we see this, but then you just got to throw that away on Monday because the next opponent is so different. I don't think that's the case here. I think they'll be able to really dive into the things that went wrong against the Bears because I think a lot of it is going to come up against the Bills as well.
Yeah, with the secondary too. Like I was talking to Joe about this also. Like it's full of guys that are talented. Like they're I like Kyle Duggar. Jalen Ramsey, like, isn't what he used to be in terms of being a cover man, but like he's still Jalen Ramsey. Joey Porter, I know he's dealing with the hip, and I'm not sure what his status will be for Sunday. But Asante Samuel, we haven't got to see much of him. We haven't got to see any of him in terms of in-game action yet. I don't know. I feel like the secondary, especially, has the like tools to pull it together. It's just a matter of like, can they do that? Nobody on the Bills, nobody in the Bills receivers room is really like too scary. I want to say like, there's no like Jamar Chase with the Bills, like, so maybe that helps them out this week. But then again, I don't know. It might not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very similar to the Bears in that like you have to worry about the quarterback running around and extending plays, but I don't think any of the individual receivers are very threatening, especially without Dalton Kincaid, who's really the one that I would be worried about. Um, and so it's like you want to play man, but playing man is sometimes difficult against mobile quarterbacks. They got to come up with an answer here that like fits what they need schematically. I think they probably should play cover two or some version of it a lot in this game, just because um, I don't think the Bills are as they'll run the ball, um, but also like they don't seem to wanna like the way like the Bears want to run the ball. You know Ben Johnson's all about like he wants to. The Bills they don't act like a team that wants to run the ball that much, and they will, and they're better when they do. But like I don't know, weirdly, I think if Buffalo is running the ball, you just kind of say, "Oh, you took the ball out of the hands of your MVP quarterback. Great, thanks." like, like you just kind of deal with whatever James Cook can do to you.
Yeah, yeah. This game, like the vibe of it, can either be what they did against New England, what they did against Indianapolis, or it could like be the point in the season where wheels really fall off. Like I don't think there's much in between there. And with how they've done against Josh Allen in the past, especially recently, it doesn't give me too much confidence to say that they'll be able to flip it around and like have a great defensive performance against him. And if they do, then that's promising, obviously. But I don't know. I don't think there's much of an indication that that is what's going to happen.
The one thing about Allen is he will hold on to the ball. Like you're not going to get the Flacco ball out in 1.6 seconds thing. First of all, the Bills receivers aren't open in 1.6 seconds. Second of all, like he wants to extend the play. So I do think there's an opportunity for the pass rush to be home. Oh, and I think we'll probably see Alex Highsmith back as well, which should help. I don't know. I don't think there's a reason for like the Bills are not playing well. Like I think you can look at that game against the Texans and see what that Houston defense did, and like there's not really any reason the Steelers can't follow that blueprint. There's nothing that Houston has personnel wise on defense where the Steelers should say like, "Oh, we can't do that."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever seen like a mean mug out of Josh Allen, but like I'm sure after that Texans game, they're not happy. That could be something else that kind of factors in. Like we're talking about the Steelers defense not being happy. The Bills aren't that happy heading in this one either. So they've obviously had a little bit more time to kind of shake that off and prepare for this one, kind of like a mini bye, which might help
Yeah.
them, especially in terms of the injuries. I know you mentioned Kincaid's out, but like the Steelers are a lot more banged up, I feel like, at this point than they are.
Well, they've got two tackles who didn't practice yesterday. We'll see where that leads today. Obviously, that can be. That's another question I asked TA is why, this will be if the backup tackles play, this will be the third time the Steelers have faced a really banged up offensive line this year, and they haven't been able to take advantage. And he said it's all about the ball getting out quickly. So I don't know. I don't see that being in Josh Allen's DNA. I do not predict that is what the Bills are going to do. So if they're shorthanded on the offensive line, could be a big day for T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Kirby.
Yeah, really hard hitting news here. DK, I talked to him a little bit about our Chicago deep dish pizza, which we had. He said he's not too big of a fan. And then Thanksgiving foods you're talking about. He really likes sweet potatoes, which haven't ever really been in the lineup of like what my family has made with Thanksgiving dinner. It was pretty basic, just like mashed potatoes, turkey, corn or carrots and rolls, and I really like cranberry sauce. I mentioned that to him, and I don't think he knew that there's anything other than jellied cranberry sauce. Like I explained like the whole process of making it last night to him, and he's like, "That sounds a lot better than the canned stuff."
I like the canned stuff is like comfort food. Like it's not good, but I like it. It like reminds me of my childhood. But the regular cranberry sauce is great. I'm a big thing. I'm a huge Thanksgiving guy. I love Thanksgiving food. I feel like we should be eating turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy more often than once a year. Especially stuffing. Everybody loves stuffing. Why do we eat stuffing once a year? That's a great food.
So
I want it.
everybody,
I want it more frequently.
everybody except for me likes stuffing. Like I know I'm a picky eater, but
You
like
don't
wet
like
bread
stuffing?
just, yeah, wet bread it just weirds
Yeah,
me out.
yeah. It,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all.
I'll make sure I
Not
find
so,
a vegetable on my plate, and I'll send that to you tonight, though. Don't
all right,
worry. Ever
all right.
ever
I
since you
appreciate that.
wrote that,
Wait, wait,
I've
wait.
been on
While
it.
we're on the same, I'm assuming you also don't like green bean casserole then.
I like green beans. Like I've never had casserole. Like what else is in
Oh,
it?
you never had like the classic green beans and like mushroom soup with the crunchy onions on top? Sort of like the
That
classic.
that doesn't sound that bad, honestly. Like that sounds like something I'd eat. Like the
All right.
cream with whatever soup. So maybe
Yeah.
that'll be there. I'm sure I'll send you a picture of my plate.
All right. Sounds good. Brandon, thanks for stepping in. We'll let Smitty get back to it on Friday. It's been great having you along all season, and I'm glad we got to get you here on the afternoon drive as well. And you were on night shift last night with Job, so guys, check that out as well. And I'll be back with a full day of back to normal tomorrow. Practice, morning rush, afternoon drive, all the usual stuff as the Steelers finish up their preparation for the Buffalo Bills. Brendan, tell the people where they can find you.
They can find me at my Twitter account, which is under my name here. Uh, Usually practice videos, interview clips, things like that. Trying to add a little bit more opinion as I get more comfortable, obviously. Using my voice and my face a little bit more recently, which I think is a lot different than training camp when I went to record that video and I think it took like 90 takes and you asked where I was for the past hour. So getting a little bit more comfortable with everything as we go here, which is pretty nice.
There you go. Ace underscore PGH on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. PGH Steelers Now is the site's account, SteelersNow.com. Go there and sign up for SN Plus so you get ad-free reading. You get all the best content from me, DB, Brandon, the rest of the Steelers Now team, and access to our SN Plus subscribers-only live stream, which will be coming up we'll have one in December. The one from November is archived. You can check that out. Also, my notes from the road from Chicago, where we talked about our deep dish pizza experience, all kinds of other good food takes, and a long comparison between these Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Bears franchises, and maybe using the Bears as a cautionary tale for the Steelers going forward. Got to be signed up for SN Plus to get that. We will have gift subscriptions active tomorrow. Working on that tonight. And then anyone can like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications as we continue to grow this show, all the rest of our shows to a bigger and bigger audience. Sorry, we're both in the car, so we can't get the number for you, but we'll be back to our normal game on Friday. Until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.